Welcome back, gamers, to another creepy edition of Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and I'll be your underworld guide to the modern day ghost stories better known as creepypastas. Now let's get to today's list of the top 10 Kirby creepypastas. In at number 10, Creepy Yarn. Our protagonist purchases what he believes to be a used copy of the game, except when he opens it, the title of the CD was scratched, so it only said Kirby. When the gamer loads it into his Wii, the screen begins flashing red, and upon entering the hills of Patchland, he can see crimson colored yarn just everywhere, almost looking like blood. And after beating Patchland, he moves on to the grasslands. The next level horrifies him as he comes across what looks like endless amounts of dead bodies, with all of the ones impaled on spikes being residents of Patchland. The environment wasn't normal either. The skies were dark and cloudy, and the music was the Grassland theme but played slowly in reverse. He then decides to go back to Patchland to investigate, but every sprite is terrified of him, screaming, "No, stay away." Confused by this, he re-enters Grasslands to see if it has changed, but no such luck. Now he begins hearing the Patchland theme in reverse as well, and a flurry of text bubbles begin appearing on the screen that read, "Murderer, you did this, and how could you?" Terrified, he reaches to turn off his Wii when the screen flashes to a bloody demonic Kirby that lets out the loudest, most ear-piercing version of the Kirby scream. In at number 9, Kirby's Deadland. This creepypasta is about a gamer who decided to play Kirby's Return to Dreamland to indulge in some nostalgia. When he enters into the Cookie Country, he notices all of the enemies look sad and even have tears coming from their eyes when Kirby defeats them. And as he reaches the first boss, Wispy Woods, he's deeply disturbed because of its red glowing eyes and blood pouring out of its mouth. Even more disturbing is the message that appears saying, "You did this to me, we finish here." When he defeats the boss, Kirby begins doing its happy dance, but to no music. Following this, he hears a loud static noise from his speakers. He was just about to shut off his Wii when a demonic Kirby then appeared on the screen. He had a sinister grin, fang-like teeth, the arms of Waddle Dee, the legs of King Dedede, and the wings of Meta Knight all stitched to his body. A text box then appears in blood red letters that said, "You're next," followed by a very distorted and creepy laugh. Number 8, Kirby's World. This creepypasta is about a gamer who was searching for a Kirby emulator when an ad popped up for a game called Kirby's World. As a big fan of the series, he had never heard of this game, so he downloaded it. And when the game started, there were Kirbys everywhere, except they all seemed to have blood coming from their eyes. Upon speaking to them, they could only say, "Why did you do it?" and "It's all your fault." All of the Dreamland citizens referred to the character as a menace, and when he approached some of the other Kirbys with purple eyes, he would lose a life. Searching the game for answers, he sees a note on the ground that said, "Only those with pupils of red have forgiveness for the menace." The screen then would fade to black, and surrounding him were the purple-eyed Kirbys that simply said, "Wanna play hide and seek?" Soon he was trapped in a locked room and could hear ghostly chants. That's when a demonic Kirby with dark skin, red pupils, and blood rushing from its eyes flashed onto the screen. And as the Kirby character's eyes rolled backwards into its head, the screen faded to black with a text box appearing that said, "Do you get it now?" "No, I do not get it," but that's enough for anyone to be creeped out. Number 7, Nightmare in Hell. This creepypasta is about a Kirby game that was gifted to a 10-year-old boy who loved the Kirby series. And when it came in the mail, he notices something is wrong immediately. The game is called Kirby Nightmare in Hell, and Kirby had no face, no eyes, no rosy cheeks, and the cute smile was gone. The first level was called Vomit Valley. Originally it said Vegetable Valley, but it soon glitched out into the previous title. The gamer then notices that every single level involved a lot of killing, a lot of stabbing, and blood splattering everywhere. Finally, when he reaches a level called Fountain of Dreams, he runs into the King boss battle, except the King's sword appeared in Kirby's hand. And the gamer looked on in disbelief as his lovable Kirby character killed the King with the sword. Kirby then transformed into a white color with his eyes turning black and his mouth changing from a cute smile to an evil smirk. He then hears an evil laugh coming from his television, followed by the console shutting itself off. And it's never a good sign if the console shuts itself off, but in this case, I'm sure he was thankful. Number 6. Kirby's Dark Mind. This tale is about a gamer who finds his old Game Boy Advance and decides to play Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. When the game is booting up, he drops his Game Boy, causing sparks to come out of the sides. He notices that the game is still loading up, but Kirby was being ran over by enemies. He even believes he hears bones cracking as giant Rocky squashes Kirby into the ground. Bewildered by this, he continues and finds it odd that evil characters like Crazy Hand were a bit crazier than usual. And when he defeats Crazy Hand, the cloth around the hand begins to rip, displaying a skeleton hand that dissolves as it hits the ground. And when faced against the boss Dark Mind, he's greeted with a menacing message from him that says, "Your time is up, Kirby." The gamer then smashes his attack buttons, and every strike on Dark Mind would spout pixelated blood from the enemy. The creepiest part is when he destroys Dark Mind, his head just shockingly explodes, followed by screams blaring from the gamer's speakers. In at number 5, Kirby 64. This gamer received Kirby 64 as a gift because the previous owner believed it was haunted. And when he begins the game, the Wispy's face was replaced with a human-like eye that would let out a shrill scream. When he used a bomb attack to throw at the enemy, the tree then exploded in a very fiery and realistic manner. The music began skipping and playing backwards, and when he reaches the 3rd level of the game, it takes a sinister turn. All of the enemies were replaced by these dark zombie-like creatures, and as the gamer tried to move, the screen would freeze. Except the music kept playing backwards and those enemies crept closer. He watched in absolute horror as the zombie enemies began tearing at Kirby and eating him slowly. Suddenly, the screen flashed white and a loud sadistic voice came from his speakers that just said, "Hello." In at number 4, Waddle Dee. This gamer was using the Waddle Dee character, and when he was attacking the enemies, the screen started to glitch. He then entered into the next level and faced Magolor, who suddenly flipped the map upside down, and while in battle, he spoke to the Waddle Dee character, pleading with him, "I'm not sure I should trust you with the task, especially with you killing the locals." The gamer wondered what he could be speaking about. I mean, there wasn't any NPCs in the game. The screen then suddenly flashed, showing a Kirby with a spear, killing enemies. The gamer soon realized that the locals, in Magolor's mind, were Kirby's enemies. And before he had a chance, Kirby killed his character, and upon resetting the game, he could no longer use the Waddle Dee character. Number 3, Dancing Kirby. This gamer decides to pick up a used copy of Kirby Superstar Ultra because he had always heard great things about the game. The clerk told the gamer that the copy was on sale because it was believed to be corrupted in some way, but it still worked. The game oddly came with an update for abilities that was called Dancing Kirby, and after defeating several enemies, he reached King Dedede's castle to find him eerily doing the same dance that Kirby would do. The screen then flashed red as a text box appeared from the king saying, "Welcome Kirby, now you can dance until your heart's content. That's if you still have one when we're done with you." The gamer then was frozen on the screen as ghosts of his enemies and the king began approaching him. Static then came flooding from his speakers as he watched in horror. The king killed Kirby, removed a pixelated looking heart from Kirby's chest, and began dancing on his lifeless body. In at number 2, Experimental Soldier. This creepypasta is a really interesting take on the history of Kirby, but from the enemy's perspective. It tells of an experimental soldier that was created to be the ultimate soldier. They tested everything from flight to the ability to produce a gas from inside their bodies that could levitate them. One of these soldiers went rogue though and began killing the army itself, along with the king. And as it escaped into the world, the rest of the town was terrified. And at the end of the story, we realize who this rogue soldier is when the author writes the following. "My assistant slammed the door open with an urgent message. Sir Meta Knight, Kirby has overthrown DDD, but has not stopped. If we do not destroy him, he may consume Dreamland." Number 1, The Curse of a Hero. This story is written from the perspective of the people who have witnessed Kirby in action, and it's very similar to the last one I put, but it's an interesting take on it. They believe he's a hero here, and he was a child with unimaginable powers that were to be feared if anyone else had them in their possession. They describe him though as having a happy demeanor and none could destroy it. But once in battle mode, he would destroy and consume enemies by the dozen, even launching bombs back in their direction. And as time passed, his actions became more erratic. He was once a protector of the king's people, but as the years passed, they began to fear his arrival. For Kirby's arrival meant death. And that has been the top 10 Kirby creepypastas. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Plus, if you want more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click the playlist on the screen. And let us know in the comments which one freaked you out the most. From Top 10 Gaming, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.